Welcome back, trainers. So let's go ahead and take a look at my first Jungle Cup tournament here. I have been going off of a few hours of sleep, so I may not sound the most energetic or enthusiastic throughout this video here. My team personally is going to be consisting of Venusaur, Noctowl, Fortress, Vigoroth, Wigglytuff, and Lantern. So our first opponent is going to be Ganymede 907 here. And we are going to be switching into Wigglytuff to just do some quick damage here with that charm. Very amazing Razor Leaf clone. The key is to use it for its charm, not really so much its charge moves. It's obviously going to help burn shields or take off a big chunk of their health. If it's not super effective, then you'll just be doing that nice neutral damage. But the charm is what you want to be using it for personally here. So going in with the Lantern up against that Alolan Graveler, was not expecting a Stone Edge, did quite a bit of damage there. And as you can see throughout everybody's team, it's pretty consistent with the top meta Pokemon. And for our next cup, I will be switching up my team. I have been vigorously training and testing out Persian with the Legacy charge move, and it's okay. Let's just say that the scratch is decent. It's not something you're really going to want to use, but you know me. Team Rocket's coming into Pokemon Go, and I really want to win, possibly using Persian. But the only problem is Vigoroth is so present in the Jungle Cup, pretty much on everybody's team. Counter, super effective to Persian. Persian will be dealing that scratch neutral damage back, not really able to keep up. Therefore, you are probably going to lose because Persian is not that great. But anyways, with that said, let's move along here. I'm very excited for the Team Rocket update. Whenever the app is forced, I'm assuming that is when it's about to go live. I don't know. It's still not here yet, and it is Thursday. So she does have her Purugly in this battle here. A very underused Pokemon for this meta for sure. That Scratch, without a doubt, is putting in work. But it is going to take quite a while to get to any charge moves, I'm assuming, on that Pokemon. So we're just going to go in here with the Fortress and finish it off with Bug Bite. Good games there. Moving it on to the next trainer, Power Lifter. Let's see what we have going on. So I do have a not favorable matchup going into this battle here. And I have to make my switch, but decide on which one I want to go with. I do make the decision on going ahead and taking that Sky Attack with my Fortress and saving a shield, and then switching into my Noctowl here. So I do not shield the first one up as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit off that Sky Attack. He is going to be using one shield, and we are up 2, but we have 2 Pokemon with, you know, somewhat low health here. Getting to that second Sky Attack, and we're going to be doing a good amount of damage and being able to finish it off almost with quick moves. So I'm going to be burning this shield here because I do not want to waste that energy. In comes the Wigglytuff. Hopefully we can get a shield out. If he does not shield here, then that's fine as well. No more shields on his end as well as me. So we're going to go ahead and go in here with that Fortress with energy gain and do super effective damage to that Wigglytuff and finish it off with Bug Bite. It's looking pretty good, right? Not quite. Alright, so we're going to be going on with our Vigoroth here. And he does have Brick Break instead of, well, I do believe he has Body Slam too. Brick Break and Body Slam. He's just going to go for that super effective damage. But he was actually able to finish me off with quick moves before I was able to get to that as well. Moving it on to the next match, he's starting it off with the Raichu. Now, this is not going to be Legacy. It's going to have Spark, in fact. But it's still pretty good nonetheless. Alright, and I was deciding whether or not I wanted to go to Earthquake, but let's just go ahead and see if we can burn a shield with that Heavy Slam, in which we do. And he's going to be hitting me up with Brick Break as well. As you can see here, it's still putting in work onto my Fortress and able to keep up. I do burn a shield, so we're down a shield on both ends, and I do have the Heavy Slam. I'm just going to hit it up, whatever it is. We do not want to faint before we are not able to get that off here. Now, I was thinking, okay, let's just go with the Vigoroth mirror match here. He is going to have a bit more energy, I do believe. And we're just going to go ahead and go with that Body Slam, seeing it's going to be doing a lot more damage than that Brick Break there. And we're able to finish him off. No more shields on either end. In comes that Victory Bell. Now, we're looking pretty good here. Going to go ahead and get off this Body Slam and then make that quick switch into the Noctowl to do super effective damage with the quick moves and finish him off and taking round 2. Moving it on to the third match here, starting it off with Fortress. He's going in with Vigoroth. Now, this is not too favorable for the Fortress, but personally for me, I do not mind this matchup whatsoever. Because we can either burn a shield on the Vigoroth, like we just did there. And we'll have low health, and as well as the Vigoroth too when it comes down to it. So he does make the switch into Noctowl. I'm going to be doing the same here. He did shield bait me quite well with that Nightshade. Noctowl can take that hit fairly well, being a ghost move and you are normal type, not very effective. And then he's hitting me up with that. I decided to just go ahead and store a bunch of energy and go ahead and burn 2 shields at this point. And whatever comes in, I'm just going to spam it with the Sky Attack. And that is going to be Wigglytuff in this case. And I need to get those off extremely quick because that charm will take me out very fast. So he does take my Noctowl out. We have no more shields, neither does he. And we're going to go ahead and go with that super effective Heavy Slam. In comes Vigoroth, finishing me off with that Brick Break there. And we're just going to go ahead and go in with the Noctowl. All right. And that was a mistake, right? I should have went in there with Vigoroth, did those counters, and just took it out like that. But it doesn't really matter. But what I did do there was help him store a little bit more energy to get off a charge move quicker on my Vigoroth. But we were still able to take that win. Now, moving on to our next opponent, OMFG, it's Kesha. Starting off with Vigoroth, and he's going in there with the Lantern. Now, this can be favorable for the Vigoroth, hitting up those body slams. Or if you're feeling a little frisky, you can go ahead and go with that Bulldoze. And hopefully they do not shield that up. Otherwise, you just wasted all that energy in which you could have just went body slam. Now, I had made a big mistake here and I switched into the Lantern. He has switch advantage and I was in a decent position with the Vigoroth up against it. That is basically mistake number 1. We're going to go ahead and hit up that Thunderbolt, finishing off that Lantern there. Now, he does have shields on his end and I'm only sitting on 1. But he just used 1 on that Vigoroth, so we're looking okay, I suppose. Can go in here with the Venusaur, taking reduced damage from that counter, but he does have a Body Slam and energy stored at this point, so it's not looking so hot for me. Probably shouldn't have picked Venusaur, but, you know, like I say before, like woulda, coulda, shoulda. You'd never know. It's a kind of rock, paper, scissors between these teams if they do pick counters or not. Going in here with the Vigoroth. And we're definitely going to be shielding this Sky Attack up, seeing it as our last Pokemon. Storing a little bit of energy. Don't want to get too greedy because we have no more shields. And a Sky Attack would be devastating and pretty much finishing off that Vigoroth. Hitting up that Body Slam immediately. And it is a fairly close match here. And he will be able to finish me off with a Body Slam, in which I had mine ready to go as well. Going into the second match here, starting it off with Lantern. He's going in there with that Fortress. This can go good for either Pokemon here. If I do not shield the Earthquake, it will be taking me out. And if he lets those Thunderbolts go through or a Hydro Pump, I will be looking really good as well. So he did switch into Noctowl. So we're looking great. I do believe this was a miss switch. So nobody really switches into a Noctowl into a Lantern, right? So we're just going to continue on and stay in the battle, finishing him off with the Thunderbolt. Probably could have stored a little bit more energy, but I did not want to burn through another shield at that point. The Vigoroth is going to be taking me out. I do have Wigglytuff and Vigoroth left. We're going to go in here with Wigglytuff and do as much damage as we can with that charm, shielding up that first Body Slam so we can just chip away. Though he does bring in the Fortress, and he does also have Heavy Slam, which will be super effective, forcing us to burn our last shield. Then we're going to go ahead and switch in here to the Vigoroth and store as much energy as we can and just hit it up with counters. Now, I do not have any more shields. It was kind of a risk, but it takes a while for Fortress to get to the charges, so I figured I'd be okay. And now we're just going to go ahead and spam the Body Slam. But check it out. I was not able to get off that Body Slam. That was bad. But it's fortunate enough we already had energy stored on our Wigglytuff, so we were able to finish it off with Charm and then an Ice Beam there. Moving it on to the next match. Let's see what we have. We have a mirror match with the Vigoroth. Now, this is where I severely messed up. So I do shield this first one up. He did get a piggyback, and as well as me getting one after. I did have the energy. He's going to be shielding it up as well. And I was figuring, okay, let's see if I can finish him off with counters so I can have the lead advantage in which he would be able to have to switch if I had the counter ready to go. But he was able to finish me off with 1 HP. In comes my Lantern and then takes a Body Slam. Not looking good. And in comes his Lantern. The only advantage I have at this point is no shields on his end, and I am higher up on energy. But we're almost even on health. I have a little bit more, but now I'm down pretty low. and I'm not able to get to that Thunderbolt. Unfortunately there, he's going to have the Lantern up against my Noctowl, in which Noctowl is just going to be in a horrible position here. And at this point, it's pretty much GG's. Him coming in with a fully healed Noctowl, finishing me off. Alrighty, so moving it on to the next opponent, Baknoi. Let's see what we have going on. So we have a mirror match, Fortress versus Fortress. So I figured in this scenario, I probably should just go for the Earthquake. I'm either going to do a lot of damage or he's going to burn his shield. But he does decide to switch into his Vigoroth, so I'm going to go ahead and hit him up with a Heavy Slam, burning a shield on his end, bringing in my Wigglytuff, and then burning a shield on my end, and then doing a ton of damage with that Charm. We're going to go ahead and let that Body Slam go through, seeing that we're going to still be able to do a bunch of damage with that Charm and actually finish him off before he is able to get off a charge. In comes the Alolan Graveler here, and we're just going to go ahead and go Ice Beam and let the Wigglytuff go down. Now we could go in there with Fortress and be safe, or we can go in there with Vigoroth and do a bunch of counter damage and store energy for the next Pokemon here. And I figured that's what I do. But he does switch quickly, hit me up with the charge, very nice there, in which I'm going to be switching myself and going for that Earthquake. Alright, because he had no more shield, so it was safe to just take him out. And then finishing off the Alolan Graveler with Bug Bite myself. Moving into the next match, going to start it off with Fortress again, going up against Lantern. And like I said before, this can work favorably in either trainer's end. Really depends on where you shield and which charge moves they're doing. I did want to preserve that health for a little bit longer there, store more energy, and I do go for that Earthquake. He does shield it up, so we do get a shield on his end. Go into the Wigglytuff. He goes in with the Noctowl. This is a fairly safe matchup for me. Although Skytech will still be doing a great amount of damage. So I will be shielding that up and doing as much as I can with the Charm, as well as possibly burning a shield or taking him out with that Ice Beam, in which we get all of the shields on his end. So we're looking pretty good. Surviving there and able to take him down with Charm. With just a sliver of health, in comes the Breloom, and look how much damage we did. Extreme right there. Breloom is a glass cannon and also weak to fairy moves. So we're going to go ahead and do super effective Bug Bite, and then finishing it off with Heavy Slam. In comes the Lantern and taking me out with Stored Energy Thunderbolt. I do go in here with my Vigoroth, hit it up with Body Slam immediately, seeing that there's no more shields, and taking the win on that one. Good games. Moving it on to our next opponent, 907 Sylveon here. I'm going to be starting it off with the Lantern. She's going in there with the Venusaur. This is an absolutely favorable matchup for me. She does switch into the Alolan Graveler, in which I will reply with my Lantern with that super effective Water Gun. And we're not going to get off a charge. We're simply going to farm energy at this point. So we're just going to wait for the next Pokemon to come in here and go ahead and go with the Thunderbolt. Seeing that I was expecting the shield, so there's no point to go for the Hydro Pump quite yet. But we're just going to let our Lantern go down. No points. We did its job quite well. We're going to go in here with the Wigglytuff yet again, doing massive damage. She will be bringing in the Venusaur to take reduced damage from that Charm move, seeing that it is part poison. Not very effective. But we do switch into our Fortress here, and we're looking okay. The Sludge Bomb, the Frenzy Plant, they're not going to be doing much damage. I figured I'd just finish it off with the Quick Move Bug Bite, and then go for that Heavy Slam onto the next opponent, burn a shield, and then go for another Heavy Slam here, doing a good amount of damage to that Vigoroth. She does have a Body Slam ready to go, and we do finish it off with the Charm. Moving it on to the second match here. And it's going to be the same lineup. So I thought I'd just hold my line good and see what we can do with the Fortress entering, seeing that it was a decent lineup matchup for her team. She will be going in here with the Noctowl. She's locked in here, so of course I'm going to go in there with my Lantern and farm as much energy as I possibly can with the Water Gun. I think I do. Let's see. Oh, I go for the Thunderbolt immediately. I was thinking a shield might come out, so I'll be able to farm at this point, in which I have to shield if I wanted to farm. But I do not think that's the case. I go for the Thunderbolt immediately. Just wanted to take it out because just did. We're in a pretty comfortable position here, so we're looking all right. We don't need to switch. The Lantern could just go ahead and do some Water Gun damage to that Vigoroth. We're going to go in here with our Fortress, gain a little bit more energy, and then go for Heavy Slam. And she does let it go through, and I will be doing an immediate switch so the Wigglytuff can take the brute force of that Body Slam without burning a shield on my Fortress and saving it for that Venusaur here. and we're still doing a great amount of damage with Charm up against Venusaur. We do go down, and we have one more shield. We're going to be hitting up that heavy slam onto that Venusaur. She does shield it up using the last one. And at this point, I was thinking I could take this Frenzy Plant, but let's not risk it. We shield up and then finish it off with Bug Bite. So there you have it, trainers. I did finish 3rd place. And then we have Rizzy in 2nd, and then Bone Chip in 1st. So this was good times. I did take my brother here as well as my best friend. It was his first time entering. My brother was just spectating this time around. But it was good stuff. This was our first tournament outside, I do believe. It was a pretty decently hot day, even though we had cloud cover. Anyways, with that said, trainers, I want to hopefully be more energetic in my next PvP video. So I will be on standby for that possible Team Rocket update coming anytime now. And with that said, trainers, thank you for watching. And I will be going a lot more in depth in my future Jungle Cups, telling you more strategies. I just wanted to get this video up and do the commentary through it. Thank you for watching, trainers, and I will be catching you all next time. Take care.